What is going on, wrestling fans? It's I, Steve Fall. Welcome back to 10 Count Media. On today's edition, I'm talking to the North American champion. It's Ruca. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am doing super. Thank you for asking. And you are the North American champion, but let's clarify one thing. Technically, are you currently the Speed champion, or are you currently the last Speed champion? Where is that championship?
Definitely still a double champion. I am, the Speed champion and the North American champion. I know there's a little confusion about what's going on. I honestly don't really have an answer either, but until they tell me I'm no longer a double champion, I am still a double champion.
Very good. Let me start over. Welcome to the show. I'm talking to double champ.
Yeah.
Hi. Yeah, because everyone, you see it online, you don't know what's happening. So we have the champ here. So what an opportunity to get clarification. So even you currently are unaware of the next step for the Speed Championship.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe we'll start doing stuff on NXT with it. I was starting to wear it on NXT, which before wasn't allowed because it was a separate, it's technically a separate universe being on X, but I think there was a little bit leeway. And now I think we're just trying to figure out what we want to do with it. But I mean, as of now, I'm still technically a double champion, so I'm not complaining.
No. It was very shocking when suddenly I saw you wearing the championship. And I thought, wait a minute, I haven't seen this on television. It's always been on X. So now, wait, are the rules different? Have things changed? But everything seems to be up in the air.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll get some clarification soon.
Okay. Well, so you're double champion, but I also think you hold a record. I think you're the only person in the past at least 20 years to wrestle not once, not twice, but 3 times in a row, SmackDown, Great American Bash, Evolution. Take me through that process, because cardio has to be up to par for something like this.
Yeah, it was a lot. And then that previous Tuesday, technically Wednesday, I had that speed title match against Alba. So I had like 4 matches within like less than
5 days.
Yeah, it was crazy. And I did not know that I was going to be on SmackDown until like the night before. So, and Zari and I, like, we didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know if we were, going to do it backstage. And we didn't think any of us were going to have a match, because we were like, oh, like, we're going to be, doing a bunch of other stuff. Like, I don't think that we'll be, doing that. We get there and they're like, oh, you have a match. And I was like, oh, cool. Well, good thing I packed gear, because I had literally no idea what I was doing. And then that night we had to drive down to Great American Bash. It was like a 4-ish hour drive. And I had to pick up my gear. I normally make my own gear, but since I was doing so much, I was like, I'm going to have someone make one set of gear and then I'll make another one so that I just have 2. I get in at like 1-ish. And I told my gear maker, like, this is the hotel I'm staying at. Can you just like leave it at the front desk so I can pick it up? Turns out there's 2 hotels with the same name, and they're like 30 minutes away from each other. So I get in at like 1 and I'm like, where's my stuff? And the people at the front desk were like, I don't know what to tell you. It's not here. And I'm like, it is, like, this is the place. I ended up calling my gear maker. I felt so bad because she was like asleep. And I was like, I don't know where my gear is and I need it because our call time is like 8 a.m. And so she's like, oh, I'm at this hotel. And I was like, oh, of course. Perfect. Drive all the way there, pick it up, drive all the way back. Didn't get to sleep until like 3 in the morning. And then, call time was like 8. I was honestly so exhausted. I thought Evolution was going to be my hardest day, but Great American Bash, that was the hardest day for me. I was just so tired. I think with the drive and the lack of sleep and all that, it was just, I was running on fumes. I don't think anyone could tell. I think once I got in the ring, I think once the red light was on, I was completely fine. And then Evolution was just, I honestly thought it was just going to be really stressful, just being in there with so many vets and stuff like that. But they were so willing to work with us and they were so nice and we had such a blast and it was just so much fun. And that was definitely the easiest day out of all 3 of them. So I'm happy that day was the easiest and it was just the most fun. It really, ended the weekend strong with that one.
Wow. So you make first off, I don't think anyone sees the struggles of a professional wrestler in the WWE. They see what you see on television. I guess Unreal gave us a little peek, but you make your own gear as well.
Yeah. Gear is really tough. It is such like a niche thing. So there's not a whole lot of gear makers. So when one of us finds a good gear maker and we tell one person, then they tell another person, then they tell another person, and then everyone, especially when we have pay-per-views, they're last minute, you know, they don't tell us in advance who's on the show. So everyone's last minute, like, hey, I need a rush order. Hey, I need this. I need this. And then it's really, really stressful. So I decided to just take it on my own hands just because it's just easier for me and I can just get it done when I need to get it done. And I had no prior like sewing experience until I got here. I remember when I returned from my my knee injury, I had a match with Blair for the beach brawl and I didn't have any new gear. And I was like, this is my first match back. Like I should definitely have like an updated look, something at least. And I couldn't get gear on time. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to make it. And I literally tried to make it the night before, which was a horrible idea. I was like, oh, it'll be easy. I'll just slap some stuff on and it'll be fine. It's a lot harder than it looks. I pulled it together. It was a little crazy. It didn't hold up too well, but I mean, I got it done. But yeah, it's tough. You know, there's so much little stuff that goes into being a professional wrestler, especially when like fans are like, oh, their gear is so ugly or it's this, it's that. I'm like, you guys don't understand how hard it is to get good gear and to get it on time and to have it fit right. Like it's a lot.
Wow. Damn. So that 3 days, well, that I guess 5 days of 4 matches, really that no one sees the behind the curtain part of your struggles. You're making your own gear, wrong hotels, wrong gear. You got to drive there, drive back. You're tired. You're sleepy.
And on top of that, we have like in NXT, we have practice like every day. So it's not just like we have the shows and then we're off the rest of the week. Like we have shows, then we have practice, then we have lifts, then we have promo class, and then we have to make our gear. Well, some of us do. So yeah, we go through a lot. I don't think a lot of people realize it, but we go through a lot.
Wow. Damn. Well, you know, hopefully we get to see you in action at NXT Heatwave coming up in Lowell, Massachusetts, because currently you're on the poster.
Yes.
But currently you don't have a match. You are the North American champion. How does that feel knowing that, hey, you're on the poster, but right now we are only maybe a week out. You don't have a match. How do you feel about this?
I mean, I'm prepared regardless of what happens. I actually am making my own gear for Heatwave just in case. It's really cute. It's like summer themed. I'm not going to say too much, but I was making it last night actually, and I burnt part of the fabric. So I have to start all over, which sucks. But I am going to be prepared, even if I have a match, if I don't. But I mean, I'm assuming so. I was on the poster, so hopefully. And I mean, last year's Heatwave was me and Kalani, and I think we tore the house down. So I don't see why I wouldn't. But, you know, we'll see.
Okay. Because, yeah, when I saw the poster, and I'm like, well, let's look at the card, too. Wait, not there. But obviously, in today's world, it feels like at least the WWE saves some of these marquee matches for weekly programming. So those shows aren't just, let's get to the big PLE. It's you should watch this Tuesday night show so you can see you defend your championship in your gear that you burned by accident. I thought you were about to say you burned yourself. I was like, are you going to hold your hand up? It's like all bandaged up.
Honestly, I do that a lot, so it's not breaking news. But yeah, I burnt the gear and I was really upset because it was right in the middle too. I couldn't cover it up with anything. So I have to start over. So that's what I'll be doing today. But
sounds like a fun day.
Yeah.
You know, it's hot where I am, and I'm guessing you're in Florida, so it's got to be a little bit hotter.
Yeah.
So everyone always wants to make a WrestleMania debut, a big moment, a big splash. You know, you did make your WrestleMania debut at 39, not in the ring as a performer, as you might have wanted to.
Yeah.
You're the Cinnamon Toast Crunch mascot. Tell me, how does someone even get picked for something like that? Plus, how damn hot is it in that costume?
So I was already out there doing a tryout, and they were last minute looking for someone who was around 5'8" and a female and was in town. And those were all of my criteria. So I was like, yeah, I'll do it. I got a text like, hey, you want to do it? I was like, sure. And yeah, I was at the venue at Mania all day, just like hanging out and catering. And then I had to like do a little bit of media stuff where I was in the Cinnamon costume, and they had to I was in hair and makeup, and they were like putting Cinnamon Toast Crunch dust on my my face kind of thing. And then I just hung out. I did the rehearsals and stuff. I got to actually walk down the ramp, which was really, really cool. And it was funny because there were some people out around the ring before, and I was waving at them, and they were just like, hey, whatever. I'm like, you know me. I had the whole thing on so they couldn't tell. I think it was Solo. I said hi to Solo, and he was just like, what up? And then like after I was like, that was me, right? Yeah, it wasn't actually it wasn't too hot. It was just very restrictive. I literally was like stuck with my arms like out to the side. And so when they put me out there, the thing's like huge. So I'm out there waiting for Ray to come out, and people behind me are banging on the costume like, move, I can't see, move, I can't see. And I'm like, I literally can't move. I'm supposed to be here. I can't move from this spot. I do the little handshake, and then they're like aggressively pulling me out to like trying to get me out of the way of everything. So I'm like trying to walk sideways because I can't walk forwards because the thing's so big. So I'm like shuffling sideways, getting like yanked out of the stadium. And then one of the people that was like working backstage that I know personally, he was like, oh, can I get a picture? And we took a picture, and then I took the costume off, and he was like, oh, hey, I didn't know that was you. Yeah, it's crazy. It's funny to look back on, and it's really funny when it resurfaces on Twitter when people are like, oh my God, I didn't know this. And then it's a whole debate online. It's really funny.
Well, it's just so crazy because, you go back in the history of WWE, CM Punk was a mobster for a John Cena entrance.
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss were Triple H's goddesses during an entrance.
Yep.
So, we have those moments. We don't get to see your face though, but years from now, people will be saying, I remember Soul when she was at Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Crazy.
Like,
I do get a little butthurt when I see other mascots out there and I wasn't asked to do it. I'm like, that's my job. That's my thing.
Well,
it's funny because anytime there is one, people are like, wait, is that Soul? Is that Soul?
Well, because like KSI, I think was in a Prime bottle once, and then he got smushed. So luckily for you, you haven't been thrown on a table and someone frog splashing you yet, you know? So kudos to you on there. But, one of the things that always pops up in wrestling is finishers, and yours, the Soul Snatcher, is one of those things where you're like, how is this physically possible? You're jumping backwards into a flip, catching someone with a cutter. How did you develop this? Because this is one of those moves that in video games, people want to be you just to do that.
Yep. So I was trying to think of something that was unique to me, something that was within my background. And I did a move on bars called a straddle back, and it is essentially the same sort of motion. So it's like a reverse gainer. So instead of moving forward, flipping backwards, you're moving backwards and flipping forwards. And now instead of catching the bar, I'm catching a human. So it's a little similar, different. I mean, the move on bars, you would catch the bar in a handstand. So now I have to like flip all the way through to my back. But honestly, it is a lot easier than it looks. It does just like look crazy. Even when I watch it myself, I'm like, I don't know how I do that. But when I do it, it's like a walk in the park.
It does not look like a walk in the park. It looks like me tripping down the stairs over and over and over again, flipping. Because it's very impressive because it's your athletic background obviously is there. And this move is just out of this world. Again, I know everyone who ever plays video games is like, all right, I got to do this move because visually it is quite impressive. And, now, though, you were out for 9 months with an injury and you haven't missed a beat. You haven't slowed down at all. What was it like mentally returning from an injury like that? Because I've talked to other wrestlers where they say, well, when they come back, they're a little afraid. They're timid because they're afraid is their leg just going to give out.
I think when I first initially had the surgery, I was a bit worried about like coming back. Like, am I going to be the same? Like, am I going to be able to do the stuff I used to do? Like, I can't. Like, that is what sets me apart is my moveset with being like how I look. Like, I am tall. Like, I'm tall to be a high flyer. And I think that does set me apart. Not only am I high flyer, but I also can be a powerhouse. I'm also really strong. And so when I tore my ACL and I was out and I was learning how to stand for the first time, I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. Like, it's just a long, long road ahead. And I think once I started moving around and started, being able to put weight on my leg and walking and running and, working with the incredible medical staff that we have here, I kind of made a decision to pretty much gaslight myself into being like, I'm fine. I'm great. Nothing hurts. I'm going to be great. And, this is just a little bit of time off and I'm just going to come back and just not even think about it. And honestly, that I think it worked because when I was like in the knee brace, in the ring, starting to get in ring reps and stuff like that, I'd have people ask me like, oh, like, how does your knee feel? How are things going? And I'd be like, honestly, I don't even feel it. Like, I can't even, it feels exactly the same. Like, I don't even think about it. Like, I'm so worried about, you know, what I'm doing that I'm not thinking about my knee. So I think it is just a mental thing, being able to just like trust in your knee. And I remember when I started doing jumps and stuff like that, that was a big thing, was just trusting that, you know, they reconstructed your knee. So it is strong. It's probably stronger than your other one. So it's just mentally having to trust that it's fine. So I think just, yeah, trusting myself and just mentally just not letting myself be scared.
Again, kudos to you, because, you know, coming back from an injury like that and you're not slowing down, you could have easily just gone, oh, I'm going to change my entire ring style so I don't feel like I could hurt myself again. But, you know, trusting yourself is great. And, you know, I'm going to trust the WWE to give you a match on NXT Heatwave August 24th in Lowell, Mass. I'm going to try. I'm going to try to trust them. And I hopefully it works out that way. If you could wrestle someone, though, like, is there someone in your mind saying, like, let's put this match together, Heatwave's next week, let's do it?
For Heatwave, I'm not too sure. I mean, my first initial thought would be Kalani. I would be down to wrestle her literally any day of the week. But I know that she is in that triple threat, so she's kind of out of the picture for me.
Let's fantasy book then. Anybody from NXT, Raw, SmackDown, TNA.
Io Sky for sure. I think my answer changes a lot, but right now, definitely Io Sky. Watching her and Rhea just like tear it up all the time, I'm like, I would love to have a triple threat with them, but if I had to choose one, definitely Io. Yeah, in NXT right now, it's kind of tough. I just, you know, had my title match against Tatum, and I mean, still the culling is getting on our nerves. So I mean, if Izzy for some reason wants another rematch, like, fine, I'll give it to you. But if that happens, culling cannot be out there because they just like to cheat, and I don't want to have to defend my title against all of them. It's a singles title match just against her. So I wouldn't be upset about that. I mean, there's a bunch of girls that are making their way up, like Kendall. She's killing it. She just had that match with Alba. Would love to see her in the ring at some point. Even Lainey Reed, she's really, really fun to work with. Yeah, I mean, I'm honestly down to defend my titles against literally anyone. Let's do it.
Let's do it. On the poster, let's put on the card.
Yep.
Poster, card. This isn't the first time this has happened to people. Even Triple H has been on a poster where he didn't wrestle on the card. So it's not like you're the first, but hopefully you are not the next one on that list. Before I wrap this up, I want to throw some rapid fire questions at you. Just give me one word answers, maybe a couple of sentences here and there. And then we'll wrap this up and let you go on your way and have a wonderful day, and don't burn your gear for Heat Wave.
Yes, I will try my best.
All right, here we go. If you could wrestle anyone from the past in the WWE, who would it be?
Michelle McCool.
Oh man, that'd be so good. Outside of wrestling, what's something you are deeply passionate about that nobody knows?
Ooh, art.
If you were in a movie, what type of movie would it be? Comedy, drama, horror?
Oh, so I love scary movies. So I would say horror, but I feel like with how like I look and what I do now, I feel like it'd be an action movie, but initially horror. I love horror movies.
Cats or dogs?
Cats, 100%.
Should Evolution be a yearly event?
Ooh, yes. Yes.
There's no buts?
I feel like it could go either way. I don't feel like, I mean, with what Triple H said, I don't think we necessarily need to have an all-women's card or an all-women's pay-per-view. However, I mean, I don't think it hurts either. And I mean, if I'm on it, hell yeah, I would love to again. So I'm a bit indifferent. Like I'm here for it, but if not, like I'm not gonna have too strong of an opinion on that.
Well, when that happens, though, you need to have a match on Raw, on NXT, on Evolve,
on TNA,
on TNA. So that's Thursday. Friday we need SmackDown. It needs to be an NXT PLE, and then you need. I think I've counted too many days. And then you need to be on a Sunday event. We need to make the record 7 matches in a row, but all in the same town, so we don't have the same situation with your gear and driving.
That would be great. That'd be great.
Okay. Perfect. All right. Well, August 24th, NXT Heatwave. You're on the poster. Put it on the card. Come on, people. Shawn Michaels, stop doing your sexy dances and making chef videos. Get this going. All right. Well, thank you. Double champ. Thank you so much for being here on Tank Out Media. I'm Steve
Thank
Fall. She's
you.
Ruca. Have a wonderful day, and we'll
Thanks.
see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.